Another wonderful day here in Canterbury. High cloud today, a bit cool, and just supposed to get a drop of very fine rain, which we need because the grass ain't growing. It stopped growing way back at Christmas time, I'm sure. How are you going up there, Frank?
Pretty good here. Beautiful, real heavy fog this morning. And of course, if we have a heavy fog, it's going to be a good day. And the grass is growing beautifully. It rained overnight. And the place is looking very green. Green.
No, never mind. But hey, look, thanks for joining us. We don't have a lot on today, which is one of those unusual days, but never mind. We'll go through that. So the first thing on my list is our congratulations to Wowan Wuramu Moffat, DSD, who is now the new warrant officer of the Defence Force. So congratulations on that. Unfortunately for the Navy and Air Force, Army chap, sorry for you guys.
Well, we're used to that.
And also the creation of the position of Honorary Warrant Officer Class 1 for Bill Henry, known as Willie Apiata VC, and also making him the special representative to NZDF. So recognition of the work that he does with NZ Defence and the veterans community. So good to see that that's been honoured, and we hope that there are some good things that will come out of it, as they have a direct ear to someone of that level. The other thing that I have, just a couple of other things. So the Social Wellbeing Agency report, which we spoke about last week, that came out. And there were a couple of things that were concerning. And thanks to Terry Healy, he jumped to his keyboard and zapped off an email to them saying, your appendix here doesn't seem to make sense. There seems to be an error in it, because it was saying that everyone up until January 74 was entitled to a veteran's pension. So he's taken that up with them. They have admitted the error and have altered that. But Terry's also taken that as his their appendix and forwarded it along with his application to MSD for the veterans pension. So we'll see what happens. And there was a passage in that report that referred to the limitations on their data. So there were some things in there that their collection maybe couldn't do. And they mentioned the fact that people who are entitled to a veteran's pension and don't apply for it, they won't show up in the data. And that was mainly in the over 65 age group. But and they also mentioned the younger people who had served pre-1999 and had left the NZ Defence, so they might not show up either. And of course, the thing I noticed was, no matter how you cut and slice the limitations on the data, the people who served between 1971 and 1989 who don't have qualifying operational service, even though they may be afforded veteran status by the VSA 2014 up until January 74, they don't appear in the data because they don't make specific mention of those who, because of the Act, they don't have qualifying operational service, only have qualifying routine service. You don't appear and invisible to the data collection people. So I sent them off a little missive to say, how do you manage to do this? How are you going to collect those people up and include them in the data collection? Because that's a chunk of people that we need to be aware of how they are in life, what's their well-being like, how they're managing as far as work and things like that. And it was good to see some of those statistics coming out. I think it was something like 49% of people were in full-time work, and 27% though weren't engaged in full-time work, which is a bit concerning. And we are aware that a lot of people post Singapore had the bouncers, might go to a job for 2 or 3 years and then move on to another one and move on to another one. Bit of trouble settling back into a routine of being fully employed. So that's something. How about you, Frank? Any thoughts and ideas on that report?
No, apart from what you've said, I sort of am still actually working my way through it. But at least they are starting to look at these figures, which is a change from years gone by.
That's right. And in the time that I've worked in the kind of former services space, it's the first bit of data collection I've actually seen that has some level of accuracy about it because of the methodologies they've used, which means that up until kind of the time that report was released, government agencies, and particularly the government as a whole, have been making decisions for former service people based on no information at all, no real data. So now we've got some. One would expect the agencies and the government itself to be able to make more accurate decisions about the well-being of those who have served throughout the country and even overseas, because they're included as well. So there you go.
I know when I left the Navy, apart from handing back all my loan stuff, which I was meant to still have but could never find, it was hand you your piece of paper that you're discharged from the Royal New Zealand Navy, out the gate, and that was it. Never heard of again.
Yep.
No statistics were taken. Didn't ask me where I was going, what I was going to be doing. Nothing. So that's probably why.
Yep. They're just once you left, then they're not interested. But it's becoming more of an issue, I think, for government, possibly because it's relational to financing for Veterans Affairs. We know they're having to find the old 6-7% savings or whatever it is. So that's a bit of a hack. We've already lost for 12 months the application process for VIP. And I have to say, Frank, I noticed just yesterday somewhere, I think it was the Navy site, the New Zealand Navy site run by the Navy, a young guy who after work runs his own lawn mowing business.
I saw that, yeah.
And I thought, wow, someone should be grabbing hold of that guy and feeding him the people who've applied in his part of Auckland, the people on the VIP list. Now, I think it's what was he doing? He was donating to cancer, his income minus his costs for I think about 6 months or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. So I think the guy needs to be rewarded, and if there's more work out there for him, certainly in the veteran space, he needs to be grabbed hold of. Someone needs to help that guy. I mean, it might help him out of the Navy, which might not be the right thing, but at least he's got the motivation to get out there and get himself some extra income in these times, running his own little business. So good on him. And I think the other thing that was of note is some of the feedback and comments about that social wellbeing agency report on our Facebook page and on other pages. So perhaps people are engaging with that and getting a bit of an idea of what's going on. The only other thing I have on my list is this Friday, if you're a Canterbury resident, or if you'd like to fly down and join us for the morning, Bernadine McKenzie will be at the Air Force Museum. So 10 o'clock, our standard end of the month coffee day. So if you're out and about, got a loose end, or want to catch up with a few people you've served with, pop along. I know there's some thought about the fact that the 10 o'clock on a Friday doesn't suit everybody because younger generations are, still in work. and it's not easy to get an hour or an hour and a half off. But yeah, so if you're free and able, get yourself down there. I also understand that coffee day concept has now been spread to, I think it's Dunedin, Marlborough, and I think Tauranga is the other one. So look around, reach out to, I think it's the RSA or someone in Tauranga, and the same in Marlborough, who are running these on behalf of the veteran community. Find out when and where they are, and if we find out through Facebook when these events are happening in these other places, we'll advertise them as well, so you can get out there. I think that's about all. And Frank, what about yourself? Got anything to add?
No, it's been pretty quiet this week, which is good. And I've spent most of my time at home thinking about my garden. And at least it's a fine day today. I might be able to attack it.
Well, that's good. And if it's your the old veggie garden in the back patch there, that's with the escalating cost of groceries and so on, growing your own would be a good idea.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, I think we're quite fortunate, and I think my wife worked out we grow about 70-something% of our own food, so we're quite lucky in that regard. Yeah, just have a think about it, because I don't think the economy is going to boost up and prices are going to drop anytime soon.
I know we're very fortunate here. We have a vegetable garden, and we've got a son who on the farming world who provides us with all our meat. So
nice.
We're very fortunate.
Yep, good. Okay, Frank. So we're across the last post and the crossing the bar.
I've got one crossing the bar this week. Before I start that, Richard Mills, who passed away by himself, and 2 weeks ago, a small gathering of us Navy and Army boys turned up for his interment at Te Awamutu Cemetery. And I'd just like to thank the Te Awamutu police for taking their time of contacting us so that he wouldn't go alone. 11685 Weavers, Harold Lindsay, World War II, Royal New Zealand Navy, crossed the bar 16th of May 2024. A service for Harold has been held. Condolences to the family and friends of Harold.
Well, one of those unusual weeks for us. For the last post, there's I haven't been able to find any mention of anybody who's passed in the last week. I did get the opportunity to front up at the funeral for my cousin, Don, who passed away at the beginning of last week. I turned up to his funeral on Friday, which was quite good. Good to see some Vietnam veterans there as well, supporting him. Now, they shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them.
We will remember them, lest we forget.
And as we usually do, we offer our condolences to families of those who've passed, and also our support to help link you with the support through the RSAs or through Veterans Affairs if you find yourself in the unfortunate position of having a member of your family pass away. So that's us for today, folks. Look after yourself, make contact with those that you know, give them a ring, send them an email, do something, have coffee with them, organise to have maybe a beer or so, or who knows. Always a good loosener of the tongue to find out how people are really doing as opposed to what they tell us they're doing and how well they are. As we age, we all face the hurdles of health in one shape or form or another. So make contact, make sure that they're okay and are well. Thanks for watching us. Thanks for participating, and we'll catch you on the same channel, same time next week. Look after yourselves, and we'll see you then.
Right. Farewell.
Thank you, Frank, for coming along.
No problem.